Dang, seems like independent women do the most complaining.
When men do what they're supposed to do.
Why every man gotta be a yes dear?
Hey, come on, you guys.
You are ignorant. I'm protesting.
Are your dreams, son?
Same dream.
You deserve what you get.
We had one of his students, I should say, Dr. Wesley Muhammad, the other day, and he was talking about hip hop, and he talked about he named it slut rap. He talked about Cardi B, the Meg Thee Stallions, and then he talked about, yeah. Then you got Moneybagg Yo as well, who's like a walking billboard for promethazine. Then he talked about violence. He broke everything down in different categories, and this assault that we're going through right now. But talk about that. Talk about those different aspects: the slut rap, the violence being promoted, and now the drug use being heavily promoted to the point where this guy has a jacket that says codeine on it, and he's actually holding codeine bottles, like 30 of them, on Instagram.
Promoting. Yeah, I wish I could get everybody to understand what genocide looks like when you see it. Capitalism is a very effective killer, and it's very good at exterminating people who are not conscious enough to know what's being done to them. And that's not just, from music, it's from the food you eat and things like that. And the thing about hip hop that allows the genocidal extermination to take place so effectively is that it's like a secret weapon, like a Trojan horse, because you let the virus into your family, you let it into your community, because the people carrying the virus look like you. It's the same way they kill the roaches. When they want to kill a bunch of roaches, the roach motel, remember that? Roaches check in, but they don't check out, or they might give the male the poison, and then the male would take the food back and feed it to the whole family. So the whole family dies. And that's kind of what is occurring within hip hop. I mean, think about this. It is illegal in the United States to run advertisements for really unhealthy products. Like I can't do an ad for even the oxy stuff, the oxycodone and all that. You can't run ads for that anymore. You can't do an ad for crack or for heroin or for drug abuse. Even for cigarettes, you can't do ads. That's illegal. But the most effective form of advertising is not a commercial. It's a song. Music is the most effective way, the clearest way to spread a message because the best way to advertise is to advertise what people don't even know they're being advertised to. Also, music affects the subconscious mind. And then most deliberately, most problematically is they're hitting children, right? So children don't even know better. They don't know the difference, right? So effectively, again, this is genocide. This is corporate sponsored genocide. This is Nazi Germany all over again. And the evidence is all around you when you're seeing all these black people dropping like flies. They're not just dying of physical death, but you have a lot of brothers that have died of spiritual death. Kids graduating from school, can't read, hooked on drugs, brain cells that are dead that will never come back. That man is not going to grow up and become anybody's adequate husband or father now because he's so fucked up by the time he's 19, 20 years old that he's not able to become a productive member of the community. You can't bounce back from certain things, like you can't bounce back from an 80-year prison sentence with no parole, or whatever, right? You can't bounce back from the grave. You can't bounce back from taking so many drugs that have your brain has rotted, right? And so I think that in order for that to be fixed, it has to be fixed from the top. You don't just go after the rappers. You really got to talk about the people that are running this thing. That's government officials who are allowing this to happen. It's corporations that are profiting from this. That's where it has to start. And at some point it's going to happen. I'm just wondering how many people have to die before people actually realize what's really going on.
Yeah, well said. A good point. I want to transition a little bit, staying on the entertainment side, though, to this story. CEO of Barstool's Dave Portnoy. I don't know if you heard that story, but I think you did, because I think you talked about it on your IG or Twitter. A recent video or old video was brought back up to the airways of him saying the word nigga numerous times in different variations and different kind of ways, kind of just basically just saying it with a grain of salt and not really even caring too much about it. And then was asked would he apologize, and he said of course he wouldn't. The reason why I asked that is because prominent hip hop and just cultural personalities, Deion Sanders and the $1 Million Worth of Game, were brought to the forefront to basically ask, are they going to hold this man accountable? And then obviously I don't think anybody said anything, but what's your thoughts? Do places like, or do brands like $1 Million Worth of Game or Deion Sanders have a responsibility in holding this man accountable? And what do you think about him saying it in general?
I can't speak for what Deion, has to do or doesn't have to do. I'm still mixed on that in terms of how much he should be held responsible for what this other guy said. However, what I will say is this: clearly it's a problem, right? Clearly it's completely fucked up that this guy's sitting on there saying this stuff. And I'm not comfortable with it. I wouldn't want to be his friend. I wouldn't want to do business with him and all that. I wouldn't be offended. I would just, but because if you call me a name, I'm gonna call you a name back and just keep on moving. I'm not gonna sit here and be all sensitized by what white people think about me. I let that go a long time ago. However, one of the things that we gotta process is this: what makes him feel so comfortable saying that and just knowing that there's not gonna be any consequences? He's doing that because he doesn't respect you. He doesn't respect us. He just knows, look, I can say whatever I want about black people. They're not going to really do nothing. I got a couple of Negroes on my payroll. They ain't going to say nothing. And I'm known as the wild, crazy guy. So part of the bro culture, I just say whatever's on my mind, and I'm not apologizing for shit, right? He wouldn't maintain that same disposition if there were significant consequences for his behavior, right? So when black people, you have to read books like Powernomics to understand what it means to have enough power to make people pay a penalty for doing things that you don't agree with. And we don't have any power, and that's why he doesn't have to apologize. Nothing's going to happen to him. He's still going to make, keep making $2-3 million a month or whatever he's making from his platform. Nothing will change in his life. Now, at that point, there's the accountability on us. We are hypocritical as shit when it comes to the N-word. I know we make a difference between that. But if I'm a white kid, I'm growing up and I'm listening, like I'm really trying to be down with black folks and I'm into the hip hop and all that, and I'm hearing the N-word and every other lyric, I'm gonna be confused. I'm gonna be like, wait a minute, you mean like y'all can say it, y'all can call each other that word all day long, but if I say it, somehow that's the greatest offense ever, right? And some people go along with that, but and that's fine, but it's confusing to me, to be honest with you. I don't understand how we can be just outraged when a white man says that, but then we'll hear a black man say it and call ourselves that over and over again, and we don't care, like it's nothing. And the black man will be getting paid by white company to say it. Like, pay attention now. You got big white companies paying black people to go in front of the white people and scream, "Die, nigga, die," and the white people are cheering every time you say it. What is that? Like that's insanity. That doesn't make any sense. So I feel like in certain ways, they have us kind of ass backward. Like I really think that we have to decide: are we okay with it or are we not? And I think that that having accountability and having a standard means sort of looking at yourself and saying, look, I'm going to set the example of what. Like it would be silly for me to say, don't you call me Boyce, but I call myself Boyce all the time, or I'm saying, yeah, I'm Boyce. Don't you call me Boyce, but I'm Boyce, right? That would be weird, right? So I just personally think that we have to understand our role in making certain people feel like it's okay to say these sorts of things. They don't respect us and they're confused by us, and I stick by that point.